Hey there, millionaires. We're going to look at the operation of the student Chromebooks, and we're going to look at a bunch of different things so that we can prepare ourselves to teach our students how to use these. The first thing we're going to look at is how to power up and log into the Chromebook. We're going to look at something called the launcher. We'll also look at file storage and the camera on the Chromebook. Okay, we're going to look at saving files to the OneDrive, how to cut and paste, how to take screenshots, and also how students can submit to the IT help desk. This is an example of one of the Chromebooks that is being issued to our middle school students. You can see it's got a case on it. I've covered up the student's identification tag, but this name is on that sticker. And if we open it up, start by just pressing that power button at the upper right-hand corner, we'll see that Chromebook starts up automatically. It should connect to the local network if that password's been saved. Of course, when the students take it home, they'll have to connect it to their home network. It's asking us to sign in. So just like we would with any other computer, we're going to click Next. Take us to our ClassLink dashboard sign in, and I'm going to sign in with a student ID that we have been using in our work group. Been graciously provided to us by IT. So what we're going to do here is look at some of the basic operations of the Chromebook so that we are able to show our students how to use the Chromebook. So once we log in, we have a Wi-Fi network. We log into the dashboard, and it looks like any other dashboard that we have. So it's important to recognize that although we are aware that Chromebooks are what we would call, generally speaking, a dumb device, they don't have applications on them generally. They just connect to the internet, and we're going to do everything on the internet, everything through a web application. There are still a few applications because there are some hardware devices on the Chromebook that we need to be able to control. So if we look down at the bottom under My Apps, down towards the bottom, we do see 3 icons already present for us. And the one on the far left is Zoom, which we all have been using Zoom quite a bit. We understand what that is. The one in the middle is a QR code scanner, so we click on that and we can see we would hold our QR code up and it would take us right to it. And the third one is the Chrome browser. If a student may, or someone on a Chromebook may be somewhere else in another app and we needed to come back to the Chrome browser because that is our access point for the internet, and therefore for our dashboard, that's where we would click. But if we look at this button over here on the left, on the bottom left, that's going to give us access. It's called the launcher. It's going to give us access to a few more tools. First of all, it gives us a search, so we can search our apps and our devices, and that's that search bar. I've maximized that to the screen now. Here we see the Zoom and the Chrome and also the scan QR code are there, but we see a few other things. First of all, there's a link directly to wasd.org. That's nothing more than a simple web link. It'll take you right to the school district website. Also, we see a link to the Chrome Web Store, not something, generally speaking, we want our students logging into and working with. Most importantly, the camera and the files. Now, first I'm going to speak about files. The files on a Chromebook, the way they're set up in the district are, students can put screenshots, they can save documents to files as they're working. If they want to save an image from a website, perhaps a JPEG that they see on a website, they can save that to files. But when they close their lid and or log out of their Chromebook, that files folder on that Chromebook is going to delete everything that's on there. So we need to make sure that we're teaching our students how to use their OneDrive and to save their files on their OneDrive. And we'll show you a little later on how can you transfer files from the Chromebook file folders into OneDrive. So it's not necessarily a bad idea to work in the files on the Chromebook as you're doing work, but you want to make sure that we teach them and we're backing things up to our OneDrive before we're done with that work. So as far as the camera goes, electronic annotation is one of the trouble areas that we've been working on. We haven't come up with a lot of great solutions. There are some solutions that work better than others. You'll be hearing about some of those, but quite frankly, trying to solve a multi-step math problem without a touch screen and a stylus can be difficult for our students. So if you are going to have students do work in workbooks or on worksheets or on notebook paper and you want them to turn that in, the camera is a pretty good solution for how to get that student work turned in electronically. And so it's as simple as having them open their camera, take their worksheet. Over here on the right, they have an option photo, video, or square. This is very similar to the camera on your phone. If you wanted them to take a video, you could select that. But they can take a photo and then put this in front, and they're going to snap that picture. And that's going to put that picture in their files so that they may then share that file with you. So we can see if we go to recent, right here at 1:51, I took this picture, and we're going to need to show those students, what do I do with this now? Well, I'm going to need to put that into my OneDrive. And then, or I may need to put that into Schoology. When I go into Schoology, I may attach that image to the homework assignment. So again, not the best option, but anything, you may have a project you want them to take a picture of. You depending on grade level, you may just want to say a good morning picture or a good morning video. And so that's the use of the camera. All right, so now we're in OneDrive. This is OneDrive just from the dashboard. Went to the dashboard and opened up the OneDrive app. And how would we save a file, a screenshot or a camera shot that we wanted to save to our OneDrive? Well, we're going to navigate to whatever folder we want to put it in, and here we're just going to put it in the root folder. We go to upload, and that is in the files we're going to upload a file here from the computer. So we select files and then go to recent, and that's the best way to teach your students to do this. It's not to worry about digging down through my files or downloads, but just go to recent, because pretty much everything that they will have done will be recent, because every time they close their computer lid or log off the Chromebook, that file is going to go away. And we can see right there at the top is the image that we took, and we would just select open, and that would then save that to the OneDrive, so they would continue to have access to that for as long as they needed. So we've opened up Word from our dashboard. Once again, it's an application. We're on the web-based Word. And remember, on a Chromebook, all apps will be run from the web. And so our students will be using the Word online through Office 365. And I've just opened up a generic document. It was called Note-Taking Document. It's one of the first choices they have. It's got some generic words in there, but I just wanted to show us how do we copy and paste. And so with the the online version, the web version, to copy and paste, a student is going to select and highlight what they want to copy, and then they're going to use those keyboard shortcut. They're going to hit the Control button and C, and the Control button and C will be the copy feature. And if I move down here to the bottom of the document and I want to paste it in, I'm now going to use Control and V, and it's going to paste in. Now it changed the format because this document is set up for auto format, but I did copy and paste those words, list title, inside of the brackets. But say I wanted to take a screenshot, and this is a little bit different than what we have on our MacBooks, and a little bit different for the students. So to use a screenshot, or to take a screenshot, all right, it's going to be important that we look at this button down here, and I'm going to move the camera a little bit. It's the button right above the 6, all right, and it's this button right here. We're going to use that button and the Control button. And so you'll see the result on the screen as I do it. Watch the lower right-hand side of the screen as I do Control 6, Control above the 6. It has now taken a screenshot of the entire document, and it has put that in those files that we showed earlier in the video. All right, it also gave me an option when we hit that Control screenshot to copy to clipboard. And what that means is now if I go somewhere else and I Control V, if I paste, Control V always pastes the most recent object from our clipboard to wherever we've had. So if I Control V, it literally just pastes a picture of that document that I screenshotted, a few moments earlier. So again, to copy and paste text, we're going to Control C for copy and Control V for paste. To take a screenshot, we're going to use that button. It looks like a little television or a little camera above the 6. We're going to Control and screenshot, and then we're going to decide what we're going to do with that. And just to show, if we go over to our files and see, notice once we hit the launcher, our most recent applications show up here. So I don't need to go down to the files. It's right there. When I go to my files recently and I go to my recent files, you can see there are several screenshots now that were just taken. And those are in the files, and I could use those as well if I were taking a screenshot, say of a web page or another document that I had created, and the student wanted to just save that picture for later. They can now go, as we showed earlier, into their OneDrive and upload these files and save them to their OneDrive. Just a few more things about the dashboard before we wrap up. The WASD help desk is there. If a student has a problem with their Chromebook, I believe it's going to be that student's responsibility to go ahead and put a work order in to try to get their Chromebook fixed. We also see Schoology there as an app. Obviously, we expect our students are going to be in Schoology quite a bit. And again, this student's dashboard has been organized and rearranged so that they've put, looks like they have a bunch of apps in a not used folder and a bunch in a used folder. I would bet that some of those will change this year. A note about the launcher, the search bar down here. Anything typed in this launcher will search your apps, devices, but it will also search the web. So it's a real quick way for students if they need to find a calculator or they want to look something up on the web very quickly, they can type it right in here. So if I type calculator, it's going to take me to a web page with an online calculator. And so a real quick and easy way for them to find that.